Hey YouTube, it's Mr. Noah 14 and today I'm doing a review on Marvel's The Avengers. Now this game was developed by Crystal Dynamics. They're a part of Square Enix, and let me tell you folks, this game is something else. As you can see, this is me when I'm first starting out in the game, and you get to play as four of the most iconic characters of the Marvel Universe: Thor, the Hulk, Iron Man, and then the female character Black Widow. Okay, so you're just sitting there, and at the same time, you get to play with these iconic characters. You're learning their abilities and what buttons to push, and then voila, Iron Man comes in, and then you just on a chase of these guys, and you just freaking out because the handling is good. You know, the flying is easy. You're not, having to learn something all over again. It's very natural the way Crystal Dynamics put this game together, and it's so iconic. You're sitting there. I'm sitting there, got the 4K, the HDR, and I got my Dolby Atmos speakers going, and I can just hear missiles flying past me and cars blowing up, and then you're talking to to Black Widow and Captain America on your walkie-talkie in your ear, and you just feeling all that nostalgia and all that good old, uh, you know, just from the movies. You're thinking about the movies, and then you actually get to play these characters, and they feel so natural and so easy to control and so easy to play with. And so that was my first, thing about how easy it was to play, how iconic the scenes were, how how it was easy to block and dodge and do things like that and punch, and just the scope of it. They keep it to a low scope, but it still makes it feel like it's big, and it's an open world where you can do a lot of things and cover a lot of ground. And you'll see what I mean if you decide to get this game, okay? Now, I told you about some of the things I like. Let me tell you about the two things I really hated about this game. And it is the load times, people. The load times. I mean, you would be playing as the Hawk, you into it, and then they kill you, and you like, oh man, you're feeling all that adrenaline, you're ready to play, and the next thing you know, man, you sitting there, and you got to wait for this awful long load time screen. So then that makes you think, man, when the Xbox Series X come out and the Xbox Series S, they're going to eliminate all these load times. So I would really like to see that. This is probably something Microsoft should demonstrate so people can see, and really anybody who's played this game, if you can really get a feel of how quick the load times are. Now you get to play as this young girl here. She's an inhuman, you know, and her abilities are awesome. As you can see, you watch her dodging and stretching, and you would think a character like this wouldn't add, any playability to the Marvel universe when you got Thor and the Hulk and all them bad boys. But I mean, her abilities are just simply awesome, and probably, on par with all the iconic superheroes on here. And when you start out and you're playing this, you're trying to assemble your team because everybody's broken up, everybody's everywhere, and your job is to put the team back together with this young girl, okay? And you get to play as the Hulk, you get to play as Iron Man, Black Widow, and all these other characters. Once you go pick them up, put them on your team, and then they have a multiplayer. Now the multiplayer is somewhat fun and everything. I mean, but to me, the single player is the star of the show. The multiplayer is fun. It's just a smack 'em up, beat 'em up type of thing, but it covers a large area, and you get to go to different places and everything like that. But the 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 single player and the story and the acting, the actors on here are so great, and you want to find things in books and magazines and cartoon magazines so that you can learn more about the story when you go into Kodaks and actually hear the recorded messages and stuff like that, because that just adds to the story and it's something you really want to do. And as you can see here, I'm with Hulk. When you get Hulk, you just want to smash stuff. I mean, you won't even be trying to, but you just want to tear everything up in the building. That's how good they are with making you feel like you have control of these characters. Okay? And then, like I said, at the same time you have control of these characters, you also want to search around the buildings because it's important stuff that you can get that adds to upgrading your character. Okay, so like I said, don't get too much into the punching when you're not doing any exploring or anything like that when you have a character, because you want to pick up these magazines and these codexes because, like I said, they tell you parts of the story, that you're not sure of. But at the same, I mean, it tell you part of the story that you're going to want to know. And it just adds, to the story and to the development of everything. And like I said, this game is amazing. It's right up there with Batman and Rocksteady's superhero game. I can say now these are the two games that make you feel like a superhero. I know we've been looking for these things for a long time. There's been a lot of superhero games, and the only superhero games that have lived up to anything was Batman. Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman, anything with Batman done by Rocksteady was just award winning. Now, it ain't on that level of Batman Arkham Asylum because, this is their first one. But if this is where Crystal Dynamics is starting off, you're going to see and believe in a great future for this franchise right here. Okay? Because I really enjoyed the single player way more than the multiplayer. And I hope that they don't focus on the multiplayer. I hope they focus on the multiplayer because it's fun. But the single player and the story, really drives this game. And I hope they have a lot of DLC where you can branch off into different parts and do different missions and go back to some of the iconic missions that we've seen over the past few years with the Marvel Universe's movies and things like that. I hope they really focus on the single player because, like I said, that's where this shines. The actors are great. The story is great. It's like every Avengers movie. They come together, they save the world, but then somebody make a mistake and they blame it on them, and then they all cry and go their separate ways, and then somebody come back and put them together. But that's the classic superhero story when they form up as a group. And that story adds so much to it because of the female lead. She is amazing. The way she is happy to see all these Avengers and these superheroes, and she finds herself as part of, their group, and just her excitement with this story is going to be your excitement with this story, and you're really going to enjoy where it goes. Okay, now I haven't finished it yet, but right now, like I said, I'm just enjoying the ability to play as the Hulk, the ability to use the special heroic powers as well as the minor abilities. And then, like you see here, this is the upgrade screen. This is how you upgrade your character. And that's why I told you you have to search in this game too. Don't forget to search because there's things you're going to need to pick up and find, and boxes you're going to need to open to help your character grow. And like I said, they really thought out this game. They really did because it's got that exploration feature. It's got the superhero features where you just got the most powerful humans on Earth and you're using their abilities. Then you have, like I said, the great acting that's with this and the excitement of the young lady for being with the Avengers. It just really puts you in that moment. And like I said, the best part about this game is the acting and how that young lady puts you in the middle and the excitement of being an Avenger. So, like I said, the thing I hated the most was the load times, and the game is still a little sketchy, because it's new and everything. That some of the code is messed up. I know one time I was playing a game and it just shut off. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it was bad before this latest update. But yeah, once you get past, the hair flickering and some of, you'll enjoy the 4K, you'll enjoy the story, but it does have a few issues. And like I said, the number one issue is the load times. And also, when you're playing the game, you have to use the X to activate things, and sometimes the X don't always work. You have to be up on it and then see it, and then hold the X to activate things, because if you don't see that X and you're fighting with you're in the battle mode, and you can throw yourself off a cliff or something just trying to push a button to activate something. So that's something they need to work on to make it a little tighter. And the missions are pretty easy to understand. Like, you see this boss with the shield, your job is to hit him from the back, because you're not really going to hurt him if you fight him up front. So you want to dodge, you want to circle around him, and you want to use your special rage abilities. Like Hawk, his rage abilities is he can put this green glow around his fist if you hold RT, and that makes him more powerful, where he can break through that shield, or if you hit him from the back, you can pretty much tear him up that way too. But like I said, this is a well thought out game. Man, I got to give it to Crystal Dynamics. This is something you need to pick up. I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. I would give it a 4.5 or a 5, but I can't, just for the simple fact that the load times are just too excessive. And once you get in and you're having fun, it'll drive you nuts because you want to get back in there. But overall, like I said, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. I'm putting my hat down, tipping it to Crystal Dynamics. This is the second superhero game that is worth playing. So please go out and support this, because we want games like this, and we want developers who know how to create superhero games. Like I said, it ain't a Batman Arkham Knight or anything like that, but man, when it gets to its fourth or fifth iteration of this, you're going to just scream, like, wow, this is so much better. This is, as a superhero game. So I hope you enjoyed my review. Like I said, I give it a 4 out of 5. This is Mr. North 14. Peace out.